Hi, welcome back to Elfcraft and Vinyl. I'm Sharon, and today we're going to be putting some adhesive vinyl, opaque, window decal on the shed window to give us some privacy and also to make it look a bit nicer. Want to make the outside look a little bit more festive because when we're inside in the cold weather, that's what we're seeing. So let me get set up and we'll get right to it. Hi, so for today's tutorial you'll need transfer tape, your picking tools and some transfer fluid, or I'm using water with a little bit of washing up liquid. The design is quite large. I did it in Design Space and cut it into 4 pieces. Now I had a question about larger designs on mirrors this week for etching. Well, it's the same sort of principles, but you just make sure that any joints that you've got have got extra tape over them so the fluid can't get under it. But I'm just weeding this out now, and I do leave registration marks, but because it's opaque on white you can't see it, and to be honest neither can I. So it was perhaps not an appropriate thing to do. So what I ended up doing was, on the carrier sheet I ended up drawing around the edges so that I could see them when I was applying them, and that worked well. So I'm just laying down the transfer tape. I'm holding it on my arm and rubbing it down to make sure that I've got everything. It was really easy to weed because it's quite a thick material. So this is available on our website, and I cut it into 4 pieces. The design I used was from Cricut Design Space. Well, like most sheds, ours is full of paint and children's toys, and though it looks nice on the outside, inside it's a bit of a tip. So I want to just give us some privacy. Now this isn't glass, it's perspex. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean it up with some white spirit. And today I'm going to be using the wet method, which is I have water with a tiny drop of washing up liquid just to hold the film before it goes on. Now this could go on the outside, but because I want to put another decal on the outside, which is a Christmas decal, and I want to be able to remove that later, I've put it on the inside, and also I think it'll be a little bit more hard wearing. Now we do have a grill, for a security grill, that goes on the inside of this, so that'll be put back on later. And if you want to see how I make the Christmas decal, then I've put a little bonus video up at the end. You can see how I've made the Elf HQ decal. So I hope you enjoy it. I will just get on with it. So I'm using the white spirit to give the perspex a good white, but it's the same principle for glass. Then I'm spraying with rather an old and broken spray bottle to get it forms a film which the vinyl will sit on, and it won't stick until, you know, it'll slide around a bit, giving you a little bit more leeway. So I take the backing sheet off and I line up. As I say, I've just drawn on the corners of the design so I can see it, and then it wasn't difficult at all to line up. I used the gate design from Cricut Design Space because I didn't want to. You could just put a sheet on it and make it completely obscure, but I wanted to make it a little bit more attractive. And there I am, just popping my head outside to make sure that it's all lined up. And what I wanted to do was obscure the sight of piles of ride-on toys that we could see, and paint pots and brushes and all sorts of useful things. And so there I am. I only show me weeding one panel, and then obviously I'm showing you how I install all 4 pieces. So there I'm showing you where I've marked it, and then I pulled the transfer tape back so I can see the start of the vinyl, and I can now see the registration marks sticking up. So this is when the registration marks help, and I just line it up and let gravity drop it down. And it was wasn't too hard at all to do. And because this is quite a thick material, as I say, it's not hard to work with. And because you've put a spray on to the window and the paper, you've got a little bit of time to apply it. And then I rub it down with my squeegee, trying to take as much water out of it as I can. And sort of 24 hours later, it's on there. This is a permanent adhesive, so make sure you want it on there. And then I'm using a cloth just to squeeze the rest of the water out, and then gently removing the carrier sheet. And that's me just picking up the registration mark. And I left a little bit in, but that's fine. And as you can see, it's quite a fancy pattern. I left the bit at the bottom of the window clear because actually we've put a window box on the outside, and so I wanted the pattern to come to the top of the window box. I didn't want it to go beyond. And here I am with the third piece, and again it's fairly easy to line up between the registration marks and the pattern itself, and then putting the little marks on the outside of the carrier sheet. It wasn't too bad. And then again just removing the carrier sheet. I mean, this is so many uses. I'm thinking of using it in our small bedroom. This is where my grandchildren sleep, and so they're always bouncing around in there. And we don't have blinds or curtains. We have curtains but not blinds. And so I was thinking I could do a design, a children's theme design on there. You could use it indoors if you have internal glass doors, and you could do anything. Or if you've got a home business and you want to advertise it on your car windows or on the windows at your house, you could do this. And I do make a sticker, which if you pop over and have a look at the elf sticker that I made with the Image Perfect decorative window and heat transfer, so there's lots of options for you to use this product, and it's really easy to work with. I was not phased at all about the application of it, but it was even easier than I thought. And there we go. It's just a matter of removing the last of the transfer tape. Just removing one bit that I'd forgotten to weed out. That was fine, it came up with my pick. And then I was really happy with it, and it really does do its job, as you'll see in a moment. So there we go, there's the finished window. And the Elf HQ sign. As I say, you can see the video how to make that, and I install it in exactly the same way. And we've got my Christmas wreath up. I just need to change out the bunting to something a little bit more festive, and then put a lantern by the door, and that is the shed area ready to be Elf HQ. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, share or comment, and put a flower emoji in the comments box below if you want to be included in the December 2nd draw. Thanks for watching and for all your support on Facebook and on Instagram. It really means a lot to us. Thanks, bye.